Hey guys, so I look a bit rough and I haven't filmed in like a week, but that's besides the point. Today's all about MrBeast. MrBeast has recently been called out by Rosanna Pansino, and there has been a bit of a divide on the internet for what the opinion is, like what is going on, what does everyone think. There's a bit of a divide. And I'm honestly just like divided as well within me about the whole thing, but I'll let you guys know more of that later. And do let me know in the comment section. I'm genuinely curious. No arguing, no fighting. Let's keep our fists to ourselves. What does everyone think? Like, what do we think? Let's not argue though. Subscribe to the bell icon for engagement. Let's get into the tea. And Phoebe's joining us today too. So MrBeast posted an extreme $1 million hide and seek with a bunch of different creators, and the money was supposed to be given away. It's not like the creator that wins doesn't get to keep the million. They get to like give it away. So the stakes are already a little bit lower just because it's not like the winner's keeping the money. It's not like, you know, when he gets normal people to take part in these things and it can be life-changing money for them. These are just a bunch of rich creators playing hide and seek, and whoever wins $1 million gives it away. And she recently went on the Just Trish podcast to discuss this whole thing, and she kind of started speaking about why her and MrBeast are kind of not cool right now. She genuinely thought that he always made real content that was like not fake, not edited, and now being in the video herself, she kind of sees that maybe more of it is faked than we would know.
And so when it aired, when the video came out, my friends were like, what happened?
Really? Because you weren't in it.
They had me get eliminated like somewhere in the middle, and I was really proud of myself because I'm not mean and competitive, you know? I just go out there and do my best, and I actually beat other creators who are a lot of male creators who are super competitive. They're very talented. They edited me out somewhere in the middle when really I was top 3.
Wait, what?
And then in the edit, they have like, okay, top 3 is Larry and Logan Paul and Zach King. They weren't top 3. I beat Logan Paul.
What?
I was top 3, so that was very confusing. So when I'm watching it, they had Logan, Zach King, and Larry be top 3, but Larry fell asleep, so he was disqualified. I followed all the rules, good sportsmanship. I tried really hard, and I was top 3. And so it was so weird to see the video, and they're like, oh, these 3 guys are top 3. And I felt so like, what?
And the thing is, in the past, MrBeast has been called out a few times, and I feel like it never really sticks. I feel like because he gives out so much money, and he's genuinely quite an unproblematic guy, in general, people are just kind of like, look, this doesn't matter, like, we don't care, we still love MrBeast. And that is a valid opinion to have. I feel like he gives away so much money and he gives people so many opportunities that someone's calling him out for like minor things just doesn't really make sense. For example, there was a girl on TikTok that posted a TikTok saying that she had made some cakes for MrBeast for a video, and he ended up like basically taking the idea from her and going with a different cake maker to make the same cake, and she was just left with a bunch of cakes that she made for him that he didn't pick.
This is not a toilet. It's actually a cake that I was asked to make to prove that I could make a super realistic toilet. And in return, I was going to get hired to make this cake for a very big video and get paid a lot of money. And instead, I was not hired, and this video was shown to another decorator on how to make a toilet cake. And long story short, I'm never making a toilet cake again, and you should always have a contract before you make something. So this is a video of us taking our frustrations out on the cake after the fact that we had to sit on it, because one of the requirements of making this video was to prove that we could indeed make a cake that looked like a realistic toilet that was 100% edible. So it wasn't my choice. I had to do it. Update on Toilet Gate 2022. I'm reporting from my bed because I have the vid. It finally got me, but I'm doing okay. Don't worry about me. So for those of you that speculated that this whole thing was with MrBeast, I can confirm it was. And yeah, I didn't really think that the video was going to take off like it did. I don't think anybody really thinks their videos are going to take off anymore, but it did. And I felt kind of bad because my intention was not to cancel MrBeast. I don't know him. I have never met him. He seems like a good guy. But what happened, and it was unfortunate. So last night, Jimmy called me up and we had a good heart-to-heart conversation. We talked about where the communication fell through, what we could have done better to make sure that something like this doesn't happen in the future. We came up with a plan to resolve the issue, and long story short, everything's all good. We don't have any bad blood. I have nothing against MrBeast and his team. In fact, I had nothing but respect for them for how they... So thank you everyone for all your love and support, and I really appreciate you guys. I am going to come out with a video soon about how to just kind of like deal with brands in the future to protect yourself and just make sure that you have good communication on your part so that, you know, everybody knows what their role is and we don't accidentally have something like this happen again. I also want to say, please do not go hate on Natalie Sidesurf. I've got nothing against her. Business is business, so, you know, it is what it is. And I respect the work that she does, and I wish nothing but the best for her and her YouTube channel. So be nice.
He's also currently in a lawsuit because of his ghost kitchens, like where he makes the MrBeast burgers. So there's obviously issues with that. And in the past, there have been issues with quality for the MrBeast burger. People have been ordering them, and depending on kind of where you order from, because they're ghost kitchens, so they're made in a different restaurant. So MrBeast doesn't have his own kitchens. He just basically rents out some of the labor in pre-existing kitchens. Obviously the quality will vary from restaurant to restaurant, so people order his stuff and sometimes it tastes great, sometimes it doesn't, but overall I feel like he's done pretty good on the platform. I think the only thing I'm not bothered by, like I don't actually really care, but I think the only critique I have, it's a bit of a compliment and critique in one. It's that he is really up to the bar for what YouTube is, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing. It's a good thing because I think it legitimizes YouTube as an actual business, as an actual good platform. Like I feel like for a long time it was embarrassing to say that you were a full-time YouTuber, whereas now everyone wants to be MrBeast, everyone's child wants to be MrBeast. It's really legitimized this career because he's literally, well, he pretty much has $1 billion business, and that's insane to have from just YouTube. He basically doesn't fall below 100 million views per video. It's absolutely insane. It's getting to the point where brand deals can't afford to put themselves on his video because the rates are so insane, right? And I think that really legitimizes the platform. So it's not as embarrassing now to be like, yeah, I just do YouTube, and they'll be like, oh, like MrBeast. I'm like, absolutely not like MrBeast. But on the other side of things, the critique is, now it feels like people that try to copy MrBeast just think that throwing money at a video makes the video good. Whereas MrBeast genuinely comes up with good ideas that he then is able to back with money. Whereas some of these MrBeast copycats that plague the recommended section are just like, how do I spend the most money and then come up with the least original idea? It gets to the point where they're like copying the MrBeast thumbnail, and for a bit it just felt like there was like a MrBeastification of the recommended tab, and it was just starting to get really, really frustrating because I believe there can only be one MrBeast, and he is him. And everyone else just kind of is just stealing the thumbnails, stealing the money spending aspect of it, but not actually providing anything that is of quality content. I don't know. MrBeast also doesn't really make content for me. I feel like it's more like a younger audience. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I do come across some of his videos that I thoroughly enjoy watching. But I also love Rosanna Pansino. She was one of the first YouTubers that I watched on the platform. And I watched her for ages, even though I never baked anything she made. I just felt like she was such a nice personality. And she is known for being a bit of a like trusted, reputable person on the platform. She never really gets involved in drama, and when she does, it's because something has really, really happened where people are like, oh, if Rosanna speaks about this, it means it's true, and it means we're going to believe it. So she's put out a statement on Instagram and on Twitter, and spoiler alert, she has now deleted all of the tweets, and she has put out a public apology to MrBeast, but I'll get to that in a minute. So she says, MrBeast lied and edited me out of the top 3 in Creator Games 3. So I'd participated in Creator Games 1 and 2 and was excited to be a part of YouTube's Creator Games 3, Hide and Seek at SoFi Stadium. After filming had wrapped, I truly couldn't believe how well I did at the competition and was proud of what I had achieved. I had placed 3rd. When the video was released, I was shocked, disappointed, and felt hurt. MrBeast, Jimmy, had edited the video to make me look like I performed worse than I did. That was extra upsetting because I genuinely believed him when he said that his videos are authentic and real. He edited the video to look like the final 3 people are Lorray, Logan Paul, and Zach King. The final 3 people were actually Zach Quackity and myself. For the entire duration of filming, we all wore earpieces connected to walkie-talkies. They would announce in our ears when someone had been found or when we had to move hiding spots. If we didn't move, you were immediately disqualified. While I was still hiding, they announced that they found Logan Paul. I couldn't believe I outlasted him. He is a fierce competitor. It was getting really late. We filmed for over 24 hours straight, and they eventually offered the money to come out of hiding and quit. I declined. I'd been counting the eliminations, and I was currently in 4th place with Lorray, Quackity, Zach, and myself still remaining. Jimmy asked us to move hiding spots again to the side of the stadium with the mannequins. It was at this time that that I was found in transition, moving to my next hiding spot. When Jimmy found me, he brought me to the field to be with others that had also been found. I thought I'd placed 4th, however, Lorraine had fallen asleep and hadn't moved in a long time, so he was disqualified. This meant I got 3rd place. When I arrived to the field, I saw Matt, Pat, and Logan there because they were seekers now. Jimmy said he was going to go look for Zach and asked if anyone wanted to join him. I offered to help, but he said he wanted to take Logan instead. So I hung back to start looking for Zach in a different direction with Matt, Pat. I placed 3rd, Quackity placed 2nd, and Zach placed 1st. This is actually what happened. Despite Jimmy editing out the only female in the top 3, I was proud of what I achieved. I followed the rules of the game, gave it my all, had fun, and never gave up. They can't take that away from me. And she said in the caption, I had been allowing others to treat me poorly in private for many years, and I'm fed up. I'm going to start standing up for myself and finding my voice. And people in the comments, to be fair, with a bunch of likes, said, you know it's bad when you've got Rose speaking out against you, and you know when Rose speaks up, it's bad. She's literally a cinnamon roll. Which is the general consensus, and I kind of agree. Like, I think genuinely if she speaks out, it's like an actual issue, and it's not just like made up drama for just the sake of drama, right? She also tweeted, my story was previously confirmed by Quackity. Someone on Twitter let me know that he talked about it on a stream. I was also confused as to why he was edited out of the top 3. He confirms basically her story of like what the top 3 actually was versus what MrBeast made the top 3 be.
So I ended up being in 3rd place. I ended up being in 3rd place because they found me. But Lorraine was in that video and Lorraine was asleep. So I was technically 2nd place. So I was the 2nd place in that video.
People like Nerd E Crafter and a few other people, big YouTuber names, basically agreed with Ro and are basically making the statement that it's a bit of a boys club. So it kind of made more sense that he wanted an all-male top 3 because it feels like maybe he has a more male viewership. So it kind of feels like, oh yeah, we'll just throw a bunch of like boys in the top 3. But then some people are saying that it's not a gender issue, but then I don't really know what the issue would have been with having her in the top 3, and also don't see why he did switch it around. Like I'm not being like, oh my god, cancel MrBeast. Like I don't think this is a cancelable offense, but I am wondering why she was edited out of the top 3. I don't quite get it. But Nerdy Crafter said, 100% believe you that Jimmy has a boys club mentality where female creators aren't considered worth content. I had an uncomfortable experience as well a few years ago and called it out. I'm proud of you for voicing yourself. She also put out a statement saying, this has all been overwhelming and a lot to process today. I was scared to tell my story for a long time because of how much hate others have gotten in the past for speaking up about their own experiences. In the hours since posting my story, I've received at least 3 other messages from female creators who had similar experiences with MrBeast and those around him. That will be their story to tell if they choose to, but it is making me realize that I'm not as alone as I once thought I was. Also, unbeknownst to me, Quackity also told the same story previously on a live stream. He was also confused as to why they edited him out of the top 3, and she basically just said, thank you for all the support. It's been great. She then went on a segment of H3 to talk about the whole thing and basically just elaborate further on the whole situation. Ethan basically interviewed her for that.
Another question that I got was, well, why didn't you reach out to him privately?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you reach out? And the video was public.
Yeah.
I found out when it went public, and he didn't have the decency to contact me privately and tell me, hey, just to let you know, to make the video more entertaining, we cut you out.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't give me a heads up. That amount of money, people are like, why do you care? It's just a game. I care because $1 million to give to my community is life-changing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did this, I was doing it for real. And he said it was authentic. He said it doesn't matter who wins because it's, all the money goes to charity. We're giving it all away. We're not keeping it for ourselves. It just doesn't seem like that's the case. So in my mind, I'm thinking it's a fair game,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not.
Zach, the guy who won, in your opinion, cheated because he was up in the rafters. He was in the roof, which according to the rules that you guys had all agreed to was that you wouldn't go up, climbing up into the roof.
If it was held accountable, especially because this was a YouTube original production, Zach would have been eliminated for cheating. He broke the rules, and guarantee you, if I climbed in the ceiling, MrBeast would eliminate me.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like, according to what you're saying, Quackity should have actually been the winner, and you should have got second place.
Yes, I think he was absolutely robbed, and he's a big creator. He has a wonderful community.
Yeah, yeah.
And he would have been first. I would have been second. Who would have ever thought little Quackity and a little baking nugget would make it that far? I think that that's a great story, but it's not the story he wanted to tell. It felt like a boys' club there. That's the truth. And I understand that
people don't want to hear that, especially if you're a MrBeast fan and you love him. Even when like he would go and vlog with everybody, and even at the end of the night when he said, "Who wants to go find Zach with me?" I offered, and he was like, "No, I'm going to take Logan." He will not respond to me any of my questions in writing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he knows.
He keeps pushing it 3 times. You'll see, call him.
Girl, you are so right. People do that to me all the time too.
Same here.
And then she also tweeted out, and I feel like this is where the tide turned. I feel like at the beginning, people kind of agreeing with her, like, yeah, it's kind of shitty that you were edited out. And then she starts kind of posting DMs between her and Jimmy and kind of more formal statements. And people are basically saying, in summary, TLDR, it is not that serious. It is not that deep. Like, you're making this a much bigger deal than it has to be. It's cool that you called him out, but what do you expect? Essentially was the consensus. She said, MrBeast kept pressuring me to get on the phone with him and would not answer one of my questions in writing. When I asked him to send the raw footage, he went radio silent. And she posted messages where he said, you know, what's your phone number? I'd love to call and see if we can figure out what happened. And she said, hi Jimmy, my intention of speaking up is not to be malicious or create drama. I was really hurt by the editing decisions you made. Editing me out of the top 3 and making me look like I performed worse than I did felt awful. Quackity was also edited out of the top 3 and he also talks about it. I've stayed silent for so long, it's causing me mental stress and anguish. It's not mentally healthy for me to have someone make me look worse than I am to millions of people. I would never do that to a fellow creator. And he said, obviously I wasn't trying to make you look bad, just give me time, we can chat. I'm not mad or anything, just want to help. And she said, why did you lie? Why did you say in the video that you found Logan literally 1 minute before Zach? I outlasted Logan, I was proud of what I had accomplished. It actually built some confidence in myself that wasn't there before. And he said, I don't know, been a while. Let's call and figure it out. And she said, I'll give you some time to look into it and remember, and then we can discuss. I'm more than happy to review all the raw footage to help show the timeline of events. Feel free to send it over to my team, let me know. Which is, I think, a very valid statement to make in the situation, but I do think people were kind of like, oh, okay, well, you've been tweeting about this for a while now, like, it's not that serious, it's not that deep, and I feel like maybe I should have resolved it with Jimmy and DMs, but then clearly he wasn't sending over the raw footage, and he wasn't really explaining why he edited her out, because I think if he had a valid reason, or maybe, like, he was like, oh, sorry, like, I feel like my editors maybe got mixed up with the timelines, we lost some of the raw footage, I think they had it all wrong, that would have been a pretty decent, like, explanation, but I think maybe he didn't have a good explanation, so he was just like, I don't know, I can't remember. And she said, it's shady to not be comfortable having something in writing. Anything you can say to me on the phone, you can say in writing. A common tactic in business is to do everything over the phone so there is no record. I don't play that game. And people were asking, why'd you care if you didn't win anyways? And she says, this is a very selfish mindset. It's not just about me. I feel bad for Quackity too. His performance was also messed with. I am a team player. I believe in good sportsmanship. I care because we were told the game was fair and honest, and it wasn't. We were competing for $1 million to give away to our communities. This is life-changing money we all wanted to win to give back to those who have supported us. It's beyond disrespectful to mess with that. Based on several messages I've received from other large creators, the same and worse has been done to them too. I've found my voice and will support others to find theirs. But since then, she has tweeted that she's deleting all the tweets and she will not be further speaking about Jimmy because she's gotten way too many death threats and way too much hate, which I do think is too serious, but people are making some points basically saying, yes, it's messed up that he did that, and some people are definitely supporting her and on her side, and there are definitely people saying, like, there are bigger things happening in the world right now, why are you making such a big deal? We've been tweeting about this and nothing but this for the last few days. But then again, she really isn't getting answers from people, so there is that, you know, double-sidedness. People are also upset because she did recently release a music video in the middle of all of this, and people are wondering if this was supposed to be like PR and marketing for her music video and that she is running out of money. I mean, I don't think she is. At her prime, she was making millions of dollars. Millions. She has a show, like an actual TV show. She's picked up by TV, and I feel like she has TV money right now, and her house is $8 million. Like, I genuinely feel like this isn't like a money thing. Maybe she genuinely felt hurt by this whole thing. Maybe she felt like he was trying to sabotage her in some way, and maybe just hit personally, but I don't think it's like a money and view issue, if anything. I feel like she's too rich for that and too successful and too like mainstream successful to care about that. But I think maybe genuinely she was hurt and she felt like, why was I edited out? Where did the confusion come from? Like, the timeline was right there. I don't know why you would go out of your way to edit me out of the top 3. If you didn't want me in the top 3, then you shouldn't have invited me at all to the event, because there was a possibility that I was going to win. And if that didn't fit your narrative, then just don't invite me at all. So I get that, and I get feeling hurt by that. But people are definitely upset about like the quantity of tweets and just how serious all the statements were. I feel like people are maybe upset about how it seemed like it was like too serious for everything that other people are going through. Like, I feel like people are just basically being like, you're rich, you're successful, like, stop tweeting about this now. But she has the right to be upset, right? So, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. I'm definitely on her side in the sense that I do think it's messed up, but I also maybe I'm waiting because I don't think MrBeast is like an evil person. So then I'm wondering maybe there is some kind of explanation and he is trying to figure it out. I don't know. But yeah, I'm sad that she obviously got death threats. That's never okay. Guys, let's not send death threats. And I wish I'd kept the tweets up, but that's a personal choice. And yeah, let me know what you guys think though. That's why I said I'm kind of mixed about this. Like, I don't know if MrBeast is this like evil guy, but I also don't think Ro was saying he's this evil guy. She was just like, hey, I wanted to be in the top 3 because that's where I landed, and I wanted it to be known to everyone that I was in the top 3. So let me know what you guys think, and subscribe, hit the bell, like, comment for engagement. And I hope to see you guys more this week than last week, but I was really going through it last week. So see you guys in my next one, hopefully tomorrow. Bye guys.